My fiancée told me I'm forgettable without her, so I stopped going anywhere with her. 3 days later, one of her closest friends whispered something to her that made her go completely pale that I didn't even register it as an argument at first. It sounded like background noise. We were getting ready for her coworker's birthday dinner. One of those overproduced events where everyone pretends they aren't judging each other's outfits while doing exactly that. And she was pacing around the bedroom, tearing through her closet. I was sitting on the edge of the bed, tying my shoes, when she said it like a throwaway line. People only invite you because of me. On your own, you're forgettable. She said it casually, light, almost bored. No heat, no frustration, nothing. Like she was stating my height or blood type. I froze mid-knot. She didn't even look at me, just kept rummaging, pulling out a dress, tossing it onto the chair. That was the part that hit the hardest, that she didn't think the sentence deserved eye contact. I swallowed. My throat felt like sandpaper. Good to know, I said quietly. I doubt she even registered my tone, because she just gave a little and walked to the mirror. Inside my chest, something shifted. Not cracked, not snapped. More like a gear that silently slipped out of place. For context, her name's Clara. We've been together 4 years, engaged for 6 months. She's bright, magnetic, talkative, the type who makes friends in grocery store lines. I'm quieter, more observant than outgoing. When she walks into a room, people notice. When I walk into a room, I find the coffee table before anyone finds me. I always liked that balance. Or thought I did. Over the last year, though, she started making jokes. Little digs. Don't worry. I'll bring you so people don't forget you exist. If I ever leave you, you'll need social training wheels. Babe, you're sweet, but you're not exactly memorable. They weren't funny, but she said them with a laugh, so I let them pass. I shouldn't have. At the dinner that night, she did it again. We were at a long table of her co-workers, all marketing types, all loud, all wearing the same curated, effortless but expensive vibe, and someone asked how we met. Before I opened my mouth, she chimed in. Oh, I basically rescued him from total obscurity, she said. He was like this cute background character waiting for someone to pull him into the main plot. Everyone laughed. I felt my stomach drop. My ears got hot. I smiled politely, because what else do you do when your fiancé has turned you into a punchline? Something hardened in me that night. An almost physical click. 3 days later, I quietly tested something. When Clara got invited somewhere, lunch with coworkers, drinks with friends, some networking thing, she'd usually drag me along. Or rather, expect me to be dragged along. She liked having a partner she could show off. Someone who made her look stable and grounded. I used to go because I thought it mattered to her. This time, I didn't. Not feeling it, I said, "You go." She blinked. Once. Twice. Like the idea hadn't occurred to her. Oh, well, okay. I guess. The rest of that day, she kept doing these weird double takes at me, like my calmness was throwing off her routine. Like she couldn't figure out why the toy wasn't moving when she pushed it. By the third day, she looked irritated and tense. Not angry, unsettled. Something in the dynamic wasn't doing what she expected. And then came the moment. We were at a small gathering at one of her close friends' apartments. Her friend group was prepping some big bridal shower planning thing for her. I stayed home. Again. Halfway through the evening, apparently, her best friend Mia pulled her aside. Clara came home an hour later, pale like she'd walked through a ghost. She stood in the doorway staring at me, shoes still on, purse still hanging off her arm, looking like someone had just shown her footage of herself committing a crime she didn't remember. And I swear, for the first time in our relationship, she looked afraid. Clara didn't speak right away. She just stood there, frozen in the doorway, her purse slipping slowly down her forearm until it thumped against the floor. Her breathing was uneven, shallow, shakier than I'd ever seen. "Can we talk?" she finally asked. I shrugged. Calm. Neutral. Sure. Doors open. She blinked at me like she expected a fight, and my lack of one threw her completely off balance. She stepped inside, closed the door behind her, kicked off her heels, and sat across from me on the couch. Hands twisting, knees bouncing. Like a child waiting for a punishment she didn't understand yet. "Did you tell Mia something?" she asked. "No," I said simply. "You didn't." Her voice was almost hopeful, like she wanted me to say the problem was a misunderstanding. "Nope." She swallowed. Hard. Then, the question that told me everything. "What did she tell you?" I lifted an eyebrow. Nothing. I wasn't there. Her face went completely blank, like she was trying to compute a problem with too many missing variables. She shifted again, restless, twitchy, and then blurted out. Mia said you've been different. That you're pulling away. I am, I said, still calm. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Why? She whispered. I stared at her for a second. Not with anger, with clarity. Because I finally listened to you. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. I don't understand, she said, voice small and confused. I nodded. I know you don't, but you will. I got up and went to the kitchen. Not dramatically, not to storm off. I just wanted water. She followed me like a shadow. What did Mia say? She pressed. You really want to know? Yes. Word for word. I don't have it. But the gist was, stop treating him like furniture, because one day he'll notice, and when he does, you won't be able to undo it. Clara's eyes widened. I continued, voice even. And apparently she asked you why you were so confident I'd always stick around. Why you spoke about me like I was a part of your brand, not a person. Clara shook her head fast. No, she didn't. She misunderstood. I took a sip of water, completely unfazed. Did she? Because honestly, that sounds pretty accurate. She grabbed my arm, desperate now. I didn't mean what I said. I was just stressed. I was joking. You weren't joking. I was. I swear You weren't. I repeated, calm as a surgeon's hand. You meant it. You've meant it for months. You just didn't expect me to hear it. She looked at me like the room tilted sideways. Then, softly, you're scaring me. For what? I asked. For finally taking you seriously? She stared at me like she wanted to say yes, but couldn't. Then it happened, the part that shifted the atmosphere entirely. She stepped back, shoulders tense. Mia said you're different, she whispered. Colder, distant. That your energy felt like you were already halfway gone. I nodded once. I am. Her lips trembled. But you love me, she said, like a plea. Loved, I corrected. She sucked in a breath. No, no, don't say it like that. I gave you 4 years, I said quietly. You gave me 1 sentence. She stumbled backward until her back hit the wall. Her eyes were glassy, unfocused, like her brain was refusing to accept the timeline she'd built was collapsing. Finally, in a fragile, cracking whisper, what are you going to do? I grabbed my keys and wallet. Not what you expect, I said. Then I walked past her, calm, steady, and absolutely done pretending. Behind me, I heard her whisper my name, not demanding, not entitled, not smug, just scared, because for the first time ever, she finally understood I wasn't forgettable. I was leaving. Update that I didn't plan on updating anything. Honestly, I thought that walking out would be the end of the story. Clean break, quiet exit, fade to black. Turns out Clara had other plans. Or rather, Panic had other plans for her. Let me walk you through the last 48 hours. Because they were surreal. 1. She showed up at my friend's place at 1:17 a.m. I crashed at my buddy Daniel's place that night. He and his girlfriend know the whole situation, and they didn't ask questions beyond. You good to sleep on the couch or want the guest room? Around 1:17 a.m., Daniel's Ring doorbell chimed. Clara, hair messy, no jacket, still wearing the dress from the friend gathering earlier. She looked like she'd been crying for hours. She wasn't yelling or screaming, which honestly scared me more. She was soft, shaky, almost pleading with the camera. Please, can you just tell him to talk to me? Daniel answered through the speaker. He doesn't want to. Go home. She shook her head violently. I can't. I can't leave it like this. He misunderstood me. Please, please. I stayed silent on the couch, hands folded, heart steady, not out of cruelty, out of clarity. I meant what I said. Daniel stepped outside, kept her on the porch, didn't let her in. He's a good friend like that, calm but firm. After about 10 minutes, she left. But the video? I've watched it a few times since. She looked like a person who'd finally realized gravity exists after spending years thinking she could float. 2. Her best friend texted me. At 9:40 a.m. the next day, Mia texted. Mia, she's spiraling. Mia, I know you're done, but if you can, please talk to her just once. She needs closure. Mia also. I'm sorry. I really should have said something earlier. I stared at that third message for a long time. Because quietly, under everything, there was a truth. If someone outside your relationship sees you being diminished before you do, that's a problem. I told Mia I appreciated the message but wasn't ready to talk. She didn't push. She just said, "Mia, I'll handle her. Do what's best for you. Honestly, she's a real one." 3. Clara called my work twice. Yeah, that one annoyed me. I didn't answer her calls or texts. There were 27 total by noon. But calling my workplace? That was a boundary. She didn't say anything dramatic, just asked the receptionist if I was in today and if I was okay. But the look my manager gave me later. Yeah, not ideal. I explained it was a personal issue, and she dropped it. Still, that told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't looking for understanding. She was looking for control. 4. She finally sent the text. You know the one. The desperate, shaky, "I'll take anything you can give me" text. At 2:13 p.m. Clara, please don't leave me. Clara, I'll stop the jokes. I'll stop everything. Just talk to me. Clara, I didn't realize I was hurting you. I was stupid. I'm sorry. Clara, I love you. Don't do this. Please. Reading those words did something strange to me. Not what she probably hoped. I didn't feel power, or triumph, or satisfaction. I felt tired. Tired in my bones. Because somewhere inside me, I'd been waiting for that apology for years. And now that it came, it felt like someone handing you flowers after the funeral is already over. Beautiful gesture. Wrong timing. Wrong meaning now. 5. I did text back, but not what she wanted. I took a deep breath and typed, "Me, I hear you. I'm not angry. Me, but you didn't just hurt me once. Me, it was a pattern, and I'm done living inside that pattern. Me, I need space. Do not contact my job again. Me, I hope you take care of yourself. Me, please respect this boundary." She read it instantly. Typing bubble on. Typing bubble off. Typing bubble on again. Then nothing. Just silence. 6. And then, something unexpected happened. Around 7 p.m., Mia called me. Not texted, called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. She said, "Whatever you told her, it broke something in her. In a good way, I think, but also in a way she wasn't ready for." Then, she realized she never thought she could lose you. And now she understands she already has. I didn't know what to say to that. Then Mia added, "And for what it's worth, you were never forgettable." That one made me sit down. So where am I now? Staying at Daniel's place for the week. Phone quiet. Mind clear. Heart still processing. But one thing is certain. Clara and I are not getting back together. I don't hate her. I don't resent her. But I see her clearly now. And once you see someone clearly, the old illusions don't come back. Not even when they cry on your doorstep at 1:17 a.m. Final update that I didn't expect the final chapter to feel this calm. No fireworks. No screaming. No dramatic, last-minute chase scene reconciliation. Just clarity, the kind that settles in slowly, like dust after a storm. Here's what happened. 2 days after my last update, Clara texted me asking if we could meet in a public place just to talk like adults. The message was steady, no drama, no 15 missed calls attached to it. Just a simple request. I agreed. Not because I wanted her back, but because the anger, the hurt, the shock, all of it had simmered down into something like neutral understanding. I felt grounded, ready, not vulnerable to her anymore. We met at a little bench area outside a park near our apartment. She looked small, like she'd shrunk 3 inches since the last time I saw her. Hair pulled back, eyes red, no makeup. Clara without the shine, the polish, the confident projection she always carried like armor. She sat down, folded her hands in her lap, and didn't speak for a full minute. When she finally looked at me, I saw it. The exact moment a person realizes they aren't the main character in someone else's life anymore. "I'm sorry," she said softly. Like, genuinely sorry. I didn't see what I was doing. I didn't know it mattered that much. I nodded. Not cold, not dismissive. Just acknowledging. "I believe you," I said. "I don't think you meant to hurt me." She blinked, surprised. "You don't?" "No. But intention doesn't erase impact." Her eyes watered instantly. "I didn't realize I made you feel small." I shook my head slowly. "You didn't make me feel small. I let myself shrink to fit into the space you gave me." She covered her mouth with her hand. God, I can't believe I was so stupid. I didn't correct her. That wasn't my job anymore. She asked if there was anything she could do. Anything that would make me consider trying again. I told her the truth. The simplest truth I've learned about relationships. Respect can't be retrofitted. If it wasn't there before, you can't build it backward. She broke. Quiet tears. Shoulders shaking. Not theatrically, Just heartbreak in its raw, sincere form. For the first time, I didn't feel responsible for fixing it. We sat together for a while, not talking, not fighting, just letting the reality breathe between us. Eventually, she wiped her cheeks and said something I'll probably remember for a long time. I thought I could say anything to you, and you'd still love me. I nodded. That was the problem, I said. You confused my loyalty for indifference to being hurt. She looked at me, really looked, and whispered, I never thought you'd leave. And I answered, that's why I had to. We exchanged the last few practical details about our lease, our finances, the things still at the apartment. No drama, no hostility, just two people closing a chapter they dragged too far. When she stood to leave, she hesitated, then said, I hope the next person sees you the way I should have. I didn't say anything back. I just let that sentence be the last note of our story. She walked away slowly, turned once like she wanted to memorize me, then kept going. I felt light. Not happy, not yet, but unburdened. The quiet kind of peace. As for me, I moved my things into a new apartment this week. Nothing fancy, but it's mine, and it feels like the first space in a long time where I'm not dimming myself to make someone else shine brighter. I've been reconnecting with friends. The ones she said only kept me around because of her. Funny thing is, they've all been eager to hang out. Apparently, I wasn't as invisible as she made me believe. Daniel and his girlfriend even joked, Dude, you're the memorable one. You just needed to stop standing next to a spotlight that kept pointing away from you. Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm only now realizing I was never forgettable. I was just with someone who preferred me small. Not anymore. That's the end of it. A quiet ending, but a clean one. And honestly, that's all I wanted. No bitterness, no revenge arc, no triumphant victory. Just freedom. And a future that isn't shaped by someone else's commentary. I'm good. For the first time in a long time, really good.